Yo, good morning, party people. It is May 17th. Happy Friday. Okay, so we are back in the book of Revelation today. Let me give you our daily reading. For those of you that may be following along in the daily reading, we were back in the New Testament today. So we were in Matthew chapters 13, 14, Acts 3 and 4. Of course, my words in red. I'm adding John every day to my daily reading just because I got to get those words in red. John 19, 20. Of course, my daily reading includes Revelation, so Revelations 5, 6, Revelation 5, 6, Psalms 117, 118, and Proverbs 31, okay? So today we're back in the book of Revelation. Remember, Revelation was written by the Apostle John. He was sentenced as an old man to the island of Patmos. He had a vision. Jesus appeared to him and gave him a vision of the end times, and then he also gave him direct messages for the church. They were directed directly to the churches right around where John was, but the messages are for all time, right? They're for the church in general, big C, right? And then you break that down to ourselves. So you can look at each one of these churches starting in chapter 2 of Revelation and do a self-reflection, right? So is this me? So they each have kind of titles in my Bible. The first church was the Loveless Church. So they had lost their first love. Jesus was calling them to go back. The persecuted church, then there was the compromising church, the corrupt church, the dead church, and now we are finishing up the faithful church. So that's where we're at now. And then we've got one more church after that, the lukewarm church, where we've been all of these things at different times in our lives, our walk with God, right? So so I left off on the faithful church. Let's see. I was talking about the open doors. So I'm going to start at the beginning and then just read through. So, and to the angel of the church, and this is chapter 3, verse 7. And to the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, these things says he who is holy, he who is true, he who has the key of David, he who opens and no one shuts, and shuts and no one opens. I know your works. See, I have set before you an open door, and no one can shut it. For you have a little strength, have kept my word, and have not denied my name. Okay, so I kind of left off there. So remember the angel, when all of these, the language to each church when Jesus is speaking to John is similar for each one, right? So you've got, first of all, the introduction. It says to the angel of, so then it addresses the church. So the angel, of course, is not a real angel. It's not an angel like we think of as angelic beings. It's the actual leader of the church. So to the angel of the church in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is the location of the church. And then Jesus gives his titles, or a proclamation, or another like flavor of who he is, right? And then it's so, because this is all in red, so this is all Jesus speaking. So these things says, he who is holy, so Jesus is holy. He who is true, so this is what I was talking about yesterday, the whole idea of true and truth. He who has the key of David, he who opens and no one shuts, and shuts and no one opens. I know your works. See, I have set before you an open door, and no one can shut it. For you have a little strength, have kept my word, and have not denied my name. Okay, so the open door idea. So all you have to do is go to your Bible and look at every place where door is mentioned, and it's going to really expand your mind as to what he could be referring to here. Because again, although the commentaries are saying that that this was about specific, they're actually talking about, they were saying that this is referring to where he talks about later on about the New Jerusalem and the future that way. It also, the door in the Bible is also referencing many other things. So I'm just going to give you a quick breakdown on some of the things that came up if you look in a study Bible, or you just look up door. So Genesis 4:7, it says the sin lies at the door. Psalms 141:3 says keep watch over the door of your heart. Matthew 27:60, the stone, I don't know what that's about. Stone against the door. I don't know what that is. John 10:7. This is where Jesus is saying, I am the door, right? And all the sheep come through me. And then it says in 1 Corinthians 16:9, an effective door has been opened. And then same thing with 2 Corinthians. So it just goes on and on. So I would encourage you to, when you see things like this that seem a little odd, it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense here in the book, go back and research a certain part of that, of what it says. And so the door here can represent many things. So Jesus for sure is the door, right? So it may be talking about things in the future, but there's also many applications that it could apply to as well. And So he says, I know your works. So of course, Jesus knows everything. See, I have set before you an open door, and no one can shut it. For you have a little strength, have kept my word, and have not denied my name. So what I love about that is I'm in a transition phase in my life, and we all go through transitions, right? So Jesus opens and shuts doors. And so I saw a really great video yesterday from Poetic Soldier. So if you don't know who Poetic Soldier is, shout out, girl. She does a really good job. She's kind of a Bible reading nut like me. I'm always like, read the word, and she has a whole system. It's really great. But she did a great video. I think it's on her pinned about just, it was just refreshing to see that we always have to remind ourselves that he's in control. He opens doors and he shuts doors. He's in total control. And the minute we think we are, we need to back off and just chill. And that's what her video was about. It was really good. I think she said she was pregnant when she wrote it, which was pretty funny. So I have set before you an open door, and no one can shut it, for you have a little strength. So he's not saying that they're, he was saying that they're weak, not in the way like how they're operating, but that they're doing the best they can under the circumstances. So they're doing all that they can, even though they don't have a lot of strength. They're doing everything the way he would love to see them do it. For you have a little strength, have kept my word, and have not denied my name. Then it goes on to say, indeed, I will make those of the synagogue of Satan who say they are Jews and are not, but lie. Indeed, I will make them come and worship before your feet, and to know that I have loved you. And so this is going back to the infighting and the trouble that they were having, trouble within the church with disputes. And then, of course, you have people from the other religions coming against them, right? Not wanting them to be successful. I will make them come and worship before your feet, and to know that I have loved you. Because you have kept my command to persevere, I also will keep you from the hour of trial, which shall come upon the whole world, to test those who dwell on the earth. Now they are saying that is referring, Tulip is snoring, that is referring to the end times, which is very interesting because this is not the generation that is going to see the end time, right? So the direct church that this is speaking to, they're going to have their own issues. They're going to go through their own tribulations, but we are or not we, but a future generation. I mean, it could be us. A lot of people think it's us. So that is another reflection of showing how the book of Revelation was written not only for these 7 churches, but for the church in the future, right? The church of all time. So those that have, so who's he referring to that he's going to keep during this time, right? It's saying those who persevere, those who continue to stand and do not deny his name, right? There's going to come a time in the end times that people don't care if you talk about God. The minute you mention the name Jesus, that's when all hell breaks loose. That's when people freak out because that is like, people can talk about God all day long on TikTok, on whatever, but the minute you bring up Jesus in a conversation, people freak out because that's being very specific, right? So who are these that he's going to keep? And then so there's different views on this keeping business, right? Some believe that Jesus is saying he's going to remove them, like we think about as far as the rapture at the end times. And then there's others in the commentary that believe that we're going to be protected, but we're going to go through it, which seems to make more sense to me. I hope for a rapture. I hope if we're the end times we get a rapture, but I'm planning on having to stand. So it says, I will make the come worship to know that I have loved you, because you kept my commands, so to persevere. So the people that persevere, I will also keep you from the hour of trial, which come upon the whole world, to test those who dwell on the earth. So it's going to be a test, right? Who are you gonna follow? Who are you gonna stand with? Do not take the mark. It's leading up to that. Okay, so of course I'm running out of time. So we're going to end there. So test those who dwell on the earth. So, all right. So read your Bible. Jesus is coming, and I will see you tomorrow for another video. We should be able to get through, hopefully, this church tomorrow. And then we've got one more church. Peace.